see if any has a special. And I know we're gonna do the.
Okay, turn to page 182.
Whoa.
Somebody's turning up the microphones more than they do, it sounds like.
I think so, yeah.
Actually, I turned it way down after I changed some stuff.
Alright. Hey, you wanna do this fast or slow? This is faster. Okay, we'll do it faster.
The friend we have in Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit.
Gerald, would you pray for our offerings?
Take your head, proud, Lord, take your humble hearts, take where you're. Hang here to this one. So lift up your name, name in your name, Lord. And having of all who's here, and let us be praying for all.
You can join us, girl. I got every one of my officers up here with me.
Everybody leave, you're going. Well, maybe.
Come up here, Jack.
I see him.
We need one more guy. Jack, come on.
You were over here.
Oh, Jack's coming up here. She was keeping with the beat though.
Something else need me up here?
That was beautiful.
She was doing well.
And next time y'all remember.
Okay.
I couldn't even hear.
There you go.
Text good, cause he'd laugh
He-
every time she hit a really good note.
He was sitting right there beside us.
You're good, Olivia. You're great.
Okay, I said if Miss Lee was here today, I was playing her song. So. This is God Walks the Dark Hills, and I'm just glad to know that everywhere that we walk, God is right there with us. We don't have to go anywhere by ourselves. God walks the dark hills, the highways and byways. He walks on the billows of life's troubled sea. He walks in the cold, dark shadows of midnight. God walks the dark hills to guide you and me. God walks on the dark hills. Wait. God walks the dark hills to guide my footsteps. He walks everywhere, by night and by day. He walks in silence, on down in the highway. God walks the dark hills to show me the way. God walks in storms, the rain and the sunshine. He walks in the shadow of glimmering light. He walks on the mountains, the rivers and valleys. He walks everywhere to guide you and me. God walks the dark hills to guide my footsteps. He walks everywhere, by night and by day. He walks in silence, on down the highway. God walks the dark hills to show me the way. Good job.
She was helping me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not singing.
Come on.
I'm not. What? I'm not singing. Let's have something I want to tell you.
Well, there we go. Yes, sir. I know.
She's gonna be Daryl.
Oh, no, I'm not even there. I found this yesterday online, and I thought I would share it with y'all. There was a moment in time when Moses had the courage to ask God what his name is. God answered, and the name he gave, recorded in the original Hebrew as YHWH. Over the centuries, humans have arbitrarily added an A and E in there to get Yahweh, presumably because we have a preference for vowels. But scholars and rabbis have noted that the letters YHWH represent breathing sounds, or aspirated consonants. When pronounced without intervening vowels, it actually sounds like breathing. Crow. Click the one button. I'll get back where we were. Perhaps that is why YHWH was considered an unspeakable name, because quite literally it is not supposed to be spoken but breathed. So from our first breath to our last, we are speaking the name of God. It's no wonder that when we hold our breath in fear, we are told to take a deep breath to help us calm down. And it is a coincidence that we often take a deep breath to help muster courage. YHWH, our God, has given us his name in our very breath of life. A constant reminder for us that it is only because of him that we live. He is our life-sustaining power.
Is there anyone else that will say? I'm going to be very brief because we haven't much time, but I gotta read this and I'm so glad. Hey, we heard that. Here's where I'm going. Why is our love so important? Why is that so important? Why is that so very important? As she was saying, the Lord so what? The world that he gave his only begotten son. I want to read something. I'm going to be very brief, and I won't holler and scream because I don't want anybody to think I'm hollering and screaming. But I'm happy that you read that. Hey, the Lord asked the man at the pool, do you want to be made well? And here's how the man he responded. Hear what the man said. The sick man answered him, saying, Sir, I have no man to put me in the pool. Hey, when the water is stirred, hey, but while I am on my way, there's someone steps in before me. And here's what the Lord said to me. Here it is. He said, rise, you take up, hey, your bed and walk. You rise and take up, hey, your bed and walk. After, hey, the Lord had healed him and he fixed him so he could. I'm going to put that in terms of hearing now. I'm going to put it in today's terms, our love. These things you're doing, here's why those things are so important. If someone is there, if they're trying to be made whole, if they're trying to walk, they need our help. As she sang that song, God walks what? The back hills, the highways, and the byways. I remember a time when I was about to begin to speak, and I'm older and my eyes don't see as well. So this is what I was in search of, something in big print. I was ready to speak, and I asked someone to go get me when I was going to pay him for it. It doesn't matter who that was. But here's my point. A tool I had to have. I didn't have the time to go and get this tool myself, but I was ready to speak, but I couldn't see at night because I had one that was in small print. So I had to have help from someone else. And then I hid it in, and then someone was here and said, here's one in, and I said, I don't mind paying for it. But here's what they said. No, we're going to do this for you. Here's my point is this. How about if someone is in the process? How about if they have been blessed, but they're sitting there and it's just small things that they might need. If they don't get those things, then they can't get there. I have been there myself. And all of us here as well have been there. And if you haven't, at some point you will. But here's my point. If you're there and if you can't get there, then what happens? What happens? I can understand why some folks don't believe he's real. Because if I live somewhere in a box, if I'm hungry, if I can't get the things I need, then how can a God love me if I can't get these things? Huh? Why does he walk those far back hills, the highways and byways? Who's there on those highways, those byways? And then as he walks those back roads, who's on those roads? Who's there? Who's everywhere? Us, right? Us. We are there. That is how they feel the love of Christ. And I'm going to go somewhere. See, just this past week, some things happened. I've got so much going, I can't hardly think. But here's what has made all the difference in the world. When somebody's there seeing me, sit here, Daryl, here's this, here's that, here's that. Then you won't fail. You can't fail because everything you need is there. Then is when you truly feel what? The hand of God. But if you don't feel those things, how do you know it's real? How will you know it's real? How will you ever know he's real? But when we're doing what we're doing, then what? We know that he's real. And here's what makes it even so much more real. When things are there, when you don't even have to ask for it. Hey, you know it's him. That is why this is so important. That's why I'm hollering and screaming at you, because I can feel it. But here's what needs to happen. All else, they need to feel it. After you felt it, you know it is, it's there because you know it's there. Because you feel it. It has been what? It has been made real. But if it's not made real through us, then I'm at the pool, but I can't get there. I was ready to speak, but I couldn't see what I needed to speak about. I'm only human. I've got faults. Hey, if I can't see, I just can't see. I need what? Oh, Lord, I need help. I need help from who? Who did he put here to help me? I got all of you, right? I'm going somewhere. That is why this is so important. And there are so many folks say, well, I'm going to pray and God's going to do it. He is going to do it, but often he does it how? Through me and you. But now I'm thankful that somebody did what they did and it's almost wore out. It's almost wore out. But the times I have had this up there, when it gets late and when I'm tired, it is all the more important that I've got this because it's in big, bold print. I can see. Here's where I'm going. If I have the things I need, then what's going to happen? I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be able to do what he has asked of me. But often if I don't have these things, then my hands are tied. As the man laid at the pool, he was blessed by God, but what happened? He was blessed, and then God said, after you have been blessed and made whole, now you can get up and walk. But first he had to get the things he had to have before he could what? Before he could get up and walk. Now here's where I'm going. Don't ever let anyone tell you the things that the Lord has placed on your heart, the things he has asked you to do. Don't let anyone make you believe that's not important. If those things were not important, I would not stand before you here today and speak, holler and scream. Because it has got me to where it is I am. And I'm still on my way. I'm not there, but I'm going. But here's my point. As long as I'm in the process of going, I reach for him, as she said, what that is. It's breathing. He's everything. And let me say this. If they don't believe, just give them time. But here's what's so wonderful about life. If we're there, we're going to need something. And what do we all need? What? I can't hear you.
Love.
If we'll show them that, then you know what's going to happen. Because there was a time in my life I was as hard-headed as anybody. And believe it or not. Why? Because I sat back there forever. Lord, I'm here, but I ain't going to preach. But here's where I'm going. If they're shown love, then what's going to happen over time? You're going to have to what? Surrender to Christ. Here's how I know it, because when he hit me back there, I had to get somewhere, and he was on my knee. And then he sent somebody back there while he's on his knee. If he won't come up here, I'll send somebody back there. And that's what he did. And after that happened, what happened? It was all made real. I knew what? It was time to do something because he was about to do something. So I got up and I did something. But it goes back to where? Us doing what he's asked of us to do. He's going to make it real to him if we act. If we humble ourselves and do what he's asked of us. Hey, without this, how could I preach? I couldn't see. I don't read that well, but Lord, I couldn't see. Now, I can half read, but if I can't see, then what? I can't do it. I can't do it. And here's what's happening, and I'm not hollering at you guys. I'm not. I'm speaking about what's happened with me. If you ask me to get up and walk, I have to be equipped so that I can. If I'm not equipped, and the Bible said what? You are equipped. But how was I made equipped? Through all of you. And time. Set back there forever. Set back there forever. But over time, I was given the things I had to have. To what? To get to where it is I am now. So if we will act upon these things that Christ has placed in our heart, then what's going to happen? Wonderful impacts and lives will be changed. But why and how are they changed? Through the love of Christ. Through us acting. Through us doing what the Lord has placed for us. I'm going to say this, it's hard not God to do something when somebody's always there saying, Kyle said one time, I said, I would be through if I had not done this. Kyle said, that's not an excuse because I was there, he was there, she was there. When it's made like that, then you know what? It's on you. If you don't get up and walk, then it's on you. When they stand before God, that's what we want said. That's what we want God to say to them. It was on you, I was there. At every turn, it was you, and you chose, you chose be, so down you go. But it need to be on them. What they need to have that choice. And how is that choice made real? Through us acting upon those things that God's placed in our hearts to do. He said what? That we are to what? Spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. But let me say this as we talk back there, these things that man has added to it. What we need to do is show what? The love of Christ. I spoke with a man this week. He's an older man. He's a mature man, but he puts up more and I got spanked real well this week. Real good. If we do what the Lord has asked us to do. And he had asked me to do something this week, and I was busy. I didn't get it done, but I picked up the phone and called, and after I spoke with him, I got whipped. And I'm happy he did it. Love is all we have. But no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, what do we all need? The love of the Lord. And how does that often come? Through us. Now, look at me, I'm taking up all the time. But that's what happens when God gets a hold of you. That's what's supposed to happen. And at the end of this life, if we've done what he's asked us to do, then what has happened? These impacts have been made. Lives have been changed. Y'all, it's real. This week I was on the elevator myself. No, it wasn't this week, but just last week, and I was mashing buttons. 4, 3, 5, looked up, and it was on top, and it was down low, and going back and forth. Lord, I don't know what's happening. That's what happens in our lives. But when we stand before him, I can't say, Lord, I pushed forward and I was on 2. It's just like Kyle said, Daryl, that's on you. And I looked at Kyle and I wanted to say, oh, no, it's not. But I thought about what Kyle said and all I could do was laugh. Because he was right. We need to put it on them. What do we need to put on them? God's love. And if they still refuse, then so be it. It's on them. It is not on us. It's a free gift. It's up to them and us as well to accept it or reject it. But here's what we need not to happen. We need not want to say, Lord, I didn't hear you. You didn't send anybody. There was nobody that came. I lived in a box and nobody showed me love. How can you love me if I lived in a box all my life and I was hungry, nobody fed me. I was nasty, nobody cleaned me. I asked for you and nobody came. The man at the pool, had he have laid there and God had not came, if God sent Jesus, if Jesus hadn't have come, then what? He'd still be laying there. But after he sent Jesus and he equipped him with all he had to have, and then he said what to him? You get up and walk. And I went to Amarillo, Kyle. I went to Children's, Kyle. I went here and there. But after I was equipped. Only after I was equipped. Some things have happened. It was harder. But some folks fixed it, so no, it's not. It's still possible. If it's possible, then you can now get up and do it. They made it possible. Christ came and did what? He made it so it was possible. But we as well have work that we need to do to make it possible. One should not lay at the pool and remain there because he hadn't gotten what it was he needed to get up and walk. See, that's what so many people realize, and I'm tired of hearing, well, they abuse and they misuse it. It's okay, I as well have. Once I stand before God, I have to answer for that. But let me say this, if I've had that chance, that opportunity, then it's on me. It's not on someone else, it's on me. And that's where we want to put it because it's a free gift. If they receive it or if they reject it, it is made real because what? We have showed them the love of Christ. And that's all I got because I done talked way too long. But that's what happens in life. People think they have time and they simply don't. We are what? To remind them that time is winding up. How do we do it? With the love of Christ. So this week, let's do just that. And thank you for your time.